So here are some things to really think about when it comes to the 144,000, especially if you are talking about the symbolic view of it. Hold on tight. A lot of academics, so just hold on tight. That's why you have the notes. So you're holding on tight. You ready? You ready? Here we go. Number one is the 144,000 is more of a symbol of numbers. 12 times 1,000. 12 being the number of what? Completion. For God's people representing 12 tribes of Israel and 12 apostles of the Lamb, 1,000 being a generic number, suggesting a great multitude. So the 144,000 in a way is saying all God's people under the old and new covenant. Something to think about. All right, so if you're a numbers person, maybe you can figure out something. I barely pass arithmetic. So here we go. Number two is something that I believe even the uneducated people can see this. Throughout Old Testament, there's these lists of tribes. And these lists of tribes are people that are God's chosen people. The Israelites. God chose a nation out of all the nations to be God's chosen people. And then he broke them up into how many tribes? 12 tribes. But here's the deal. This is the reason why this 144,000 literally doesn't necessarily jive a little bit. For example, today, true Jews, most of them don't even know what tribe of Israel they're from. They can speculate if they're from the tribe of Benjamin or the tribe of whatever, but most of them don't even know what tribe they're from. But let's just say that they do. This list, there's over a dozen different arrangements of these 12 tribes in the Bible. Dozens of different lists and tribes and rearrangements of this. So which one is right? Is this the right one? Or the other one the right one? If there is a true group of 144,000. But specifically, this list is very unique. This list is very unique. For example, Judah is listed as the first. Why? Because Jesus was from there, the line of the tribe of what? Judah. All 12 of Jacob's sons are listed, including Levi. Normally, Levi would not be listed in these tribes because they were not given land. So they were there to make the sacrifices and be the holy priesthood to God. So that wasn't included because he did not inherit any land except for one. Manasseh, Joseph's son and grandson, is listed in the place of Dan. So Dan, literally, that was a tribe. The tribe of Dan, we see it throughout Old Testament. Tribe of Dan, tribe of Dan, tribe of Dan in the list. But then this list, there's no tribe of who? Dan. So why? This is this is what people are through history, Jewish history, is this. Dan was actually left out of this. Why? Because he pointed to the purity of the redeemed church. From early in Israel's history, we can read it in Judges 18, early in Israel's history, Dan was the center of idolatry for the kingdom. So if you hear, back in the Old Testament, if you hear of Dan, there's some bad folk right in the middle of God's people. So if this is the symbolic view of the pure, holy people of God, you got to remove Dan, because Dan was, and the tribe of Dan was filled with idolatry against the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. So something to think about. Here's another thing to think about is this. The nations of Israel is God's chosen people. By the way, America, I'm just going to say it. America is not God's chosen country. Okay, all right. America is not God's chosen country. Now, it was founded upon biblical principles, and it has fallen far away from its biblical principles. True? Okay, so Israel is God's chosen people. So who is God's chosen people? Israel, God's chosen people. But check this out. but as well as Gentiles like you and me who have believed in Jesus Christ, we inherit the blessing of the Jewish people because of the Abrahamic covenant. So I was trying to visualize this and try to give this symbol or whatever illustration, and I really couldn't come up with a good one. So just imagine this. Old Testament, God says, Abraham, you're going to be a holy nation, which you're going to read the verse in a second. You're a special, I'm going to choose you out of all the other nations. I'm going to bless you. I'm going to give you the law. And out of you is going to come even a more blessing to all the nations. So from the very beginning, the Israelites were God's chosen people. Pause. Listen closely to me. If you are watching the news, if you're watching Fox News, NBC, Elemental, PQRS, whatever you're watching, and they mention Israel, stop, literally, stop what you're doing and just pay